got this pain right in the center of the lowest part of my low back, and I just can't get out of that pain. It hurts when I stand. It hurts when I stand too long. It hurts when I walk, when I run, when I go up and down stairs, right there in the center. I'm going to tell you where that's coming from and what you need to do to get out of pain coming up next. Kat Matlock here at FreeBody, and this is a pain that people will say, sometimes they'll just be like, oh, it feels like I fell right on my sacrum. It's this deep ache. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's terrible, sometimes it's worse when I sleep. I can't sleep at night. I'm tossing side to side. Neither side is comfortable. So what's going on here? This pain specifically is coming from a muscle called the gluteus medius. Gluteus medius is one of the muscles that I call the rotator cuff of the hip. Now, you can't just work around the sacrum or even just release the gluteus medius and expect to feel better. Because, as I always say, often the muscle that's crying out in pain is the end of the tensional line and not the beginning. In this case, the gluteus medius muscle is the one that's crying out in pain. You can see here in this picture, it causes that pain right at the sacrum, at that deepest, lowest point in the low back, right in the middle of the very top of the buttocks. Now, this pain is usually relative to one hip being higher than the other, and I did a little video and a treatment about how to take care of that. And you're going to want to watch that video as well. We'll put a link in the description to that video because I show you how one client has one hip high, and then I work on the inner thighs, I work on the opposite outer hip, and then I work on that glute med. That's the order you want to do things. I want you to keep in mind that glute med carries its trigger points along the belt line, kind of along the top rim of the pelvis. And when you are working that, you have to kind of check all of those areas. But where you want to begin is the other side glute med, because that one might be kind of pulling down, effectively pushing up the other side. And now that affected side is like, that glute med is freaking out. It's hanging on for dear life, and it's loaded with trigger points. So what you need to do first, work on the outer hip of the opposite side, glute min, do a little glute med work on the opposite side. You can do inner thigh work, the adductor inner thigh work on the same side or the affected side. So we're going to say right side is affected side right now. And we know that because the pain is right in the middle in the sacrum. Maybe you get a little ache in the butt on one side. That's going to be the affected side. So you're going to work in that inner thigh on this side because you have to release the muscles that are pulling on the glute med, right? So look at this picture of the glute med pain referral. Again, you can see that ache right in the sacrum. You can see that there's also maybe some SI joint dysfunction on a side. You can see there might also be a deep ache in the buttock. Notice that the trigger points there are right along that top rim of the pelvis. You got to get those points real specifically to get better. Okay, key takeaways. Sacral pain comes from gluteus medius, and it's often the end of the tensional line, not the beginning. So you can't just treat that gluteus medius and be like, we're all done, right? You want to start work on the outer hip of the opposite side first. Then work the inner thigh of the affected side second. Then you can treat the gluteus medius on the affected side. Now, sometimes trigger points are really persistent. They like to come back, especially if you're crossing their legs all the time or standing with their weight on one side is affecting their pelvis and is pulling on those glute med muscles. You can't be crossing your legs all the time and expect your hips to feel well. Or, hey, you can't expect to stand on one leg all the time and expect to feel well. When I had my chronic sciatica, I was always standing on the right side and I was always crossing my right leg over the left, which pushed this right hip up and led to my sciatica symptoms. It's the same kind of postural issues. Different symptomology comes out with different people, okay? So all of that is to say that yes, you can help with sacral pain. You just have to do things, as always, in the right order. So I trust that you found this video to be helpful. So I'm Kat Matlock here at FreeBody Massage. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.